Hello everyone. Today I have a story for you. It is about a boy who could not speak English, and one tool that changed his life forever. That tool was ChatGPT. He did not have a teacher. He did not go to any class. But every day he opened ChatGPT, he practiced one sentence at a time. One mistake at a time, one small talk at a time. ChatGPT became his private teacher, his daily partner, his safe space. It was always ready to listen, to fix his mistakes, to explain, and to encourage him. And after weeks of simple daily practice, something powerful happened. He started thinking in English. He started speaking in English. He became good at it. And here is the truth. If he can do it, you can do it too. This is not just a story. This is a full guide. It shows you exactly how to use ChatGPT to learn English from your home, without fear, without pressure, without confusion. So stay with me until the end. And if you are serious about getting better at English, subscribe now, because this video could change everything for you. Why he started learning English. My name is Liam. I am 22 years old. I live in a small town where nobody really speaks English. And for most of my life, I avoided it. I told myself I don't need it, but deep down I was scared of it. Let me tell you how it really started. Why I decided to finally learn English. It was not because I wanted to go to another country. It was not because I wanted to sound cool. It was because of my mother. My mum got sick. She had been feeling pain in her chest. We rushed her to the hospital. The doctor came in. He was kind, but he only spoke English. He said words like, "We need to run more tests. It could be heart-related. Do you have a family history?" I stood there frozen. I did not understand most of what he said. I nodded. I smiled politely, but inside I was confused, scared, empty. I looked at my mom. She was tired. She trusted me to ask questions, to speak for her, to help her, and I could not. I could not even ask, "What does that word mean? Is she going to be okay? Can you explain again in simple words?" I felt like a failure, not because I did not love my mum, but because I did not know how to use words to protect her. That night, I sat outside the hospital on a cold bench, and I cried. I cried for her. I cried for myself. And I made a decision. This ends here. I don't care how long it takes. I will learn English. I will never feel helpless again. That was the beginning, not of a course, not of a lesson, but of a mission. The first day with ChatGPT that night, I did not sleep much. The next morning, I opened my phone. I sat at my small study table. I felt tired, angry, and embarrassed. And I remembered a video I had seen about ChatGPT. I had seen people say you can practice English with it. It is like a private teacher. You can make mistakes and it won't judge you. I thought, what can I lose? Let me try once. I opened the app. It was simple. No camera, no pressure. Just a blank box. I typed the first message of my life in English, and I was scared even writing it. I wrote, "Hello, my English is not good. Can you help me speak English slowly and simply?" And then I waited. A few seconds later, a reply came. "Hello. Yes, I would love to help you. Don't worry, we can go slow and I will explain everything in a simple way. You are already doing great by starting." I sat there just staring at that reply. No one had ever said that to me before, not in school, not in college, not in life. I felt something strange. Hope, and that was the real beginning. Step 1, my morning routine that day, I decided to do one thing. I will not try to do everything. I will only focus on the morning, because I had already failed many times before by trying to do too much at once. This time I started small, quiet, but every day I made a promise to myself. Every morning before I do anything else, I will spend 15 minutes with ChatGPT. I will not open Instagram. I will not open YouTube. I will open ChatGPT. That is it. Here is exactly what I did. I wrote my first English diary with help. I told ChatGPT, "I want to write about my morning. Can you help me? I will write it first and you fix it." So I wrote, "Today I wake late. I feel sleepy. I drink tea and sit." ChatGPT replied, "Good try. Here is the fixed version. Today I woke up late. I felt sleepy. I drank tea and sat down." Then it explained, "Wake becomes woke in the past. Feel is wrong, say felt. Drink becomes drank in the past." It did not make me feel stupid. It made me feel safe. That day, I learned 3 grammar rules without memorizing anything. I was just writing about my life. After ChatGPT gave me the fixed diary, I read it out loud, slowly, clearly. Why? because before this I never used my mouth to speak English. I only read in my head. I only wrote in silence. This was the first time I said real English sentences with my voice. I read it again and again. Today I woke up late. I felt sleepy. I drank tea and sat down. I repeated it 5 times. I stood in front of the mirror and read it. I recorded my voice and listened to myself. It was slow. It was not smooth, but it was real. For the first time, my mouth started to believe my brain. I also learned 5 sentences from ChatGPT every morning. I asked, can you give me 5 useful English sentences for daily life, but very easy with meaning? It gave me things like, I'm running late means I don't have much time. Let's take a break means let's rest for a short time. I'm not sure means I don't know 100% sounds good means I agree. That's not fair means that's not right. Then I asked, can I try to use these in my own sentences? You fix me. ChatGPT said yes. I tried. I'm running late today. Let's take break. ChatGPT fixed. I'm running late today. Let's take a break. I was not memorizing. I was building my real language muscle. That was my morning routine, and I did it every single day. After 10 days, I was still not perfect. But I was no longer afraid of simple sentences, and that was everything. Step 2. Practicing real conversation speaking was still my biggest fear. So I told ChatGPT, I want to practice conversations, but I don't have anyone. Can you talk to me like we are in a real-life situation? It replied, of course, let's do a role play. I'll be the waiter. You are a customer. Ready? And we began. ChatGPT waiter, hello, welcome. Would you like to see the menu? Me, yes, please. I want burger and tea. ChatGPT, great try. Here is a better way to say it. I'd like a burger and a cup of tea, please. Then it asked, would you like anything else? I replied, yes, 1 cake. It fixed gently, yes, I'd also like a slice of cake, please. We kept going. Each mistake became a learning moment. Each fixed line became a part of my memory. I practiced that one conversation for 3 days. I even printed it. I stood in front of my mirror and played both roles. I became the waiter, the customer, the learner, and the speaker. Later, I practiced other role plays: airport check-in, booking a hotel room, talking to a stranger, job interview, asking a tourist for help, doctor and patient. But at this stage, I was just doing restaurant English. Why? Because I wanted to become good in one situation first, not 10, and this method worked. After 3 days, I no longer feared ordering food in English, even if I never had to, because I had practiced it like it was real. That is how confidence begins. Step 3. My night review routine. After practicing with ChatGPT every morning and doing one role play each afternoon, I realized something important. I was learning new English every day, but I was also forgetting it. That scared me, because I did not want to keep starting over. I did not want to learn a sentence today and forget it tomorrow. I wanted to keep it inside me for life. So I started something new, a night review routine with ChatGPT. Every night before I went to sleep, I sat down for 20 minutes and did 4 things. 1. I told ChatGPT what I learned that day and asked for a review. This simple review made me remember. It locked the learning into my brain. 2. I created my own Today's English page in a notebook. I wrote the vocabulary I used, sentences I learned, and what I still don't understand. 3. I asked ChatGPT for feedback and encouragement. It gave me kind words that made me feel seen and gave me energy for tomorrow. 4. I read my old pages out loud to refresh my voice and memory. That is how my nights became a powerful part of my learning. Step 4. Learning to think in English. Let me now tell you about the step that changed everything about how I think. At this point, I could write, I could read, I could practice, but I was still thinking in my native language. In my head, I still made ideas in my mother tongue, then tried to translate them into English. And by the time I finished translating, the moment to speak had already passed. I told ChatGPT, I want to think in English, not translate, but I don't know how to do that. ChatGPT replied, start small. Start with objects around you. Describe your surroundings. Say what you see. Say what you do. Use only English, even if it's simple. I started speaking to myself in English about my room. I looked around my room and typed, help me describe my room in simple English. ChatGPT gave me, there is a brown table in the corner. A blue notebook is on it. The fan is running. The window is open. I stood up. I looked around, and I repeated those lines out loud. Then I made my own versions. There is a cup on my chair. My phone is charging. The calendar says it's Friday. This was not grammar. This was real English in real time. My brain was now making new English connections. I also described my daily activities in real time. I told ChatGPT, give me 10 simple ways to describe my actions in English as I do them. It gave me, I'm brushing my teeth, I'm pouring water into a glass, I'm tying my shoelaces, I'm locking the door, I'm walking to the market. That day, I tried to speak every action out loud. As I wore my shirt, I'm wearing my shirt. As I walked, I'm walking to the kitchen. As I ate, I'm eating slowly. The food is hot. This was my turning point. I was no longer trying to learn English. I was living inside English. I also practiced expressing my feelings. I asked ChatGPT to help me say my thoughts in English. I typed in my language. I want to say I'm feeling lazy, but I must finish this work. How can I say that in very natural English? ChatGPT replied, you can say, I feel lazy today, but I still need to get this done. I read it. I repeated it. Then I tried to make 5 more sentences about my feelings. I'm nervous, but I'll try. I feel a little sad, but I'm okay. I'm excited for tomorrow. I don't feel confident, but I won't quit. This is difficult, but I'm learning. Now I was learning how to express my real self. Not just apple is red or she is tall. This was emotional English. This was my own English. Before this step, I had to wait. Someone would speak to me. I would think. I would translate. I would pause. Then maybe I would speak. After this step, my brain started to think in English directly. Not perfectly, but enough to reply. And for the first time in my life, I began to feel like someone who could actually speak English. Step 5. Training my voice without a partner. At this point, I could describe my day. I could think in simple English. I could understand what I was reading. But there was still a big problem. Whenever I tried to speak out loud, my mouth felt blocked. My tongue felt slow. The words were in my brain, but I could not say them clearly. And that made me feel stuck again. Because understanding English in your head is not the same as speaking English with your mouth. I did not have a speaking partner, no friend to practice with, no class to attend. Just me, my phone, and ChatGPT, so I asked ChatGPT, how can I train my mouth to speak clearly even if I'm alone? It replied, use voice-based training, speak every sentence out loud, use the mirror, record yourself, let your mouth learn what your brain already knows. That advice became my new system. Let me tell you every single detail of what I did, so you can do it too. I used my mirror like a real person. Every morning I stood in front of my mirror, not to look good, but to train my confidence. I looked into my eyes and said, good morning, my name is Liam. I'm learning English. I'm not perfect, but I'm not giving up. Then I said, today I will practice speaking even if I make mistakes. Then I opened ChatGPT and asked, give me 5 simple daily English questions that I can answer. In front of the mirror. It gave, what did you eat today? How are you feeling right now? What are your plans for today? What did you learn yesterday? What do you want to improve? I answered every question out loud, slowly looking in the mirror. It felt strange, but it worked. Because the mirror became my first listener, and slowly my voice became my friend, not my enemy. I also recorded my voice. I asked ChatGPT for a short paragraph to read. I recorded myself saying it. At first, my voice was slow and weak, but I did not delete it. I listened. I asked ChatGPT to help me fix my pronunciation. Then I recorded again and again until my voice got better. After 2 weeks, I compared my first recording to my latest one. I smiled, because I sounded clearer and stronger. Step 6. Building my English system. Now I want to tell you something most people don't know. English fluency is not only about speaking. It is about building a system, a structure that trains you every day. I did not learn English just because of motivation. Motivation fades. What made the difference was a system, a daily system. I asked ChatGPT, I want to build a simple but powerful English routine. Can you help me design a daily system that covers everything speaking, writing, vocabulary, correction, and confidence? It said yes. And we began building it together. Morning speaking 10 minutes. Write 3 sentences about my day. ChatGPT fixes them. Read the fixed version out loud 5 times. Vocabulary 10 minutes. Ask ChatGPT for 5 useful daily phrases. Learn their meaning plus example. Use each in my own sentence and ask for correction. Role-play practice 15 minutes. Do one real-life conversation role-play. Ask for feedback. Repeat it out loud in front of mirror. Thinking practice 10 minutes. Describe what I see, do, feel. Ask ChatGPT to improve my sentences. Speak my thoughts out loud without translating. Night reflection 10 minutes. Write in my English notebook what I learned, what I struggled with. Ask ChatGPT for review and encouragement. Read 3 sentences out loud before sleep. That was 55 minutes total. Not all at once. I did it in parts morning, afternoon, night. But every part was connected. And that is what made me feel like I was living in English, not just studying it. People who don't have systems learn slowly, forget quickly, and give up easily. But people who build systems learn deeply, remember daily, and grow permanently. That is what this step did for me. Step 7. Training for real-life situations. At this point, I could talk to myself. I could do mirror practice. I could read and understand. But I had one big fear left. What if I go outside and someone talks to me in English and I freeze? That fear was real, because in my head everything was clear, but in public everything changed. I had no control over what they would say. I could not pause, rewind, or ask them to type slower, so I created a new plan. I told ChatGPT, I want to prepare for every real-life situation before it happens. Can you help me train for them? It said yes, and that is when I built the most powerful thing in my English journey, real-life role-play rehearsals. I opened my notebook and wrote down what English situations might happen in my life: talking to a tourist, asking for help in a train station, ordering food, going for a job interview, speaking to my doctor, introducing myself at a party. These were real situations. If I did not train for them, I would panic. So I told ChatGPT, let's practice these one by one. For each one, ChatGPT acted like the other person. I responded like it was real. After each practice, ChatGPT fixed my responses and helped me sound more natural. I practiced each situation until I felt ready. After this step, I was not perfect, but I was ready. I did not fear real life anymore, because I had trained for it, and when the real test came, I passed. Step 8. Making peace with my mistakes. Even after all this practice, I still made mistakes. I said wrong words. I forgot simple things. I pronounced easy words wrong. I felt embarrassed. And one day, someone laughed, not because they were cruel, but because I said something funny without knowing. I went home and thought, maybe I'm not meant for this. Maybe English is not for me. That day, I almost quit. But that night I opened ChatGPT and wrote, I made a mistake today. Someone laughed. I feel like giving up. ChatGPT replied, every fluent person was once where you are. Mistakes are not failures. They are your teachers. That message stayed in my heart. From that day, I made a deal with myself. I will not run away from mistakes. I will collect them, study them, and grow from them. Let me tell you how I turned mistakes into my fuel. I created a mistake journal. I opened a fresh notebook. On top, I wrote my mistakes, my masters. Every day I wrote the mistake I made, what I said, what I should have said, what it means, how to avoid it next time. I read my mistake journal once every week, and each time I remembered the lesson and never made the same mistake again. I also asked ChatGPT to explain my mistakes like a teacher. Every time I wrote a new mistake, I told ChatGPT, can you explain this mistake like I'm 5 years old? It did, and suddenly grammar was not scary. It became gentle, human, and friendly. I also stopped trying to be perfect. This was hard. But one day I realized even native speakers make mistakes. They say, ah. They fix themselves mid-sentence. They forget words. They laugh and move on. Why should I expect myself to be perfect? So now when I speak English and make a mistake, I smile and say, sorry, still learning. And people smile back because I'm not trying to act smart. I'm trying to be real. Before this step, my fear of mistakes kept me silent. After this step, my courage made me louder. Step 9. I built my English identity. If you have followed my story so far, you know how much I struggled. I was not born in an English-speaking country. I did not go to an international school. No one in my family spoke English, not even my mother. I was just a normal boy from a small neighborhood with a big dream. And that dream was not just to learn English. It was to speak English confidently, clearly, powerfully, to express everything in my heart without fear, without hesitation. But in this final step, I did something that no course, no app, no textbook had ever taught me, something that truly changed everything. I stopped thinking of English as just a language I needed to study, and I started treating English as a new version of myself. I created a new English identity, a person inside me. One day, ChatGPT asked me a strange question. If you had to describe your English-speaking self as a person, who would he be? I did not know how to answer, but I thought deeply, and then I said, he's bold, he's clear, he doesn't hide, he doesn't feel embarrassed, he jokes, he tells stories, he's free. That is when I realized I was not just learning grammar, I was building a version of myself that I had never met before. So I gave him a name, English Liam, and I made a decision. Every day for 1 hour I would become English Liam. Not just speak like him, think like him, walk like him, act like him, even if I made mistakes, even if my accent was off, even if I felt silly. Because the more I stepped into that version of me, the more it became me. I also celebrated my English every single day. I did not wait for fluency to feel proud. I celebrated every small victory. Today I spoke one sentence in English to a stranger. Yes. Today I described my dinner in 3 English sentences. I'm growing. Today I fixed a mistake before ChatGPT did. I'm improving. This mindset made my English joyful, exciting, alive, because I was not just building language, I was building myself. The day I knew I was fluent, it was not when I passed a test, it was not when someone said, "Wow, your English is good." It was this. One night I was walking home under the stars, and I whispered a thought to myself naturally, beautifully, confidently in English. This is the life I used to dream about. That is when I smiled, because I did not translate it, I did not prepare it, I did not think about grammar. It just came out, like breath, like music, like me. And I knew I had finally become English Liam. Your turn. If you remember only one thing from this, remember this: ChatGPT is not just an eye, it is not just a tool, it is your mirror, mentor and practice partner all in one. You don't need perfect grammar, you don't need expensive courses, you don't need to move to another country. You need daily contact with English, real practice, real reflection and real improvement, and you already have it in your pocket. So start today, not tomorrow, not one day. Today, write one sentence, speak one reply, fix one mistake, celebrate one step. And in 1 year, people will ask you, how did your English become so good? And you will smile. I practiced every single day with ChatGPT. Now it is your turn. Make this your beginning. Speak to ChatGPT today and watch your fluency grow faster than ever before.